Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel, abundance7.com. Today I will talk about TRE, and it stands for Trauma Release Exercise. This is a technique that helps release trauma or tension from the body. People who have experienced traumatic events such as bullying, accident, death, abuse, or war, for example, can have a hard time dealing with these events. As we know, negative psychological and social situation can get stored as tension in our body. This is something you can ask any massage therapist about. And they will tell you that stress can be felt physically in the body. Stress may seem like it comes from outside source, and in a way it does. But the events that triggers emotions comes from inside us. Living a life with stress or trauma symptom is not a fun way to live life. These symptoms can affect the cognitive mind to think clearly, for example, and holding on to fear and anxiety is exhausting. The combination of a dysfunctional mind and negative emotion may reduce a person's life quality big time because he cannot function in normal life tasks. I will talk about how to get a better functional mind and more about CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, in another video. It is also common for people to experience being triggered. This may come as a surprise for other people who are perceiving this behavior. In their view, suddenly it just snaps for a person, seemingly out of the blue. Fight, flight, and freeze are instinctual responses that can be seen in people who either experience a threatening situation or perceive a situation to be threatening. This means that cues in the environment can trigger the perceived threat and fire off one of these responses. I will talk more about fight, flight, and freeze responses in another YouTube video. In some cases, a person may even get triggered just by thinking of a situation, just mentally. And your body is like a computer that is meant to process information. And just like computers, a human can also get too much information. So we get quote-unquote over-processed. So we can't compute the large amount of data that we are receiving. Traumatic events can be a shock to the human body-mind complex because there are too many impressions to process. This will lead to unprocessed material and information circling around in the body-mind complex, creating just more problems. Science has shown that people who have experienced brutal bullying, for example, have a change in the gene expression. And the theory behind TRE is that trapped energy is stored between the muscles in the body. So tense muscles happen because the person is in an alert mode to watch out for danger. That's why we are tense. And because of the shock, the body has not had time to express its emotion and go through the normal processing. TRE helps the body to express or to finish expressing the different emotions and sensation that is appropriate according to this situation experienced. So a lot of half-felt emotions, they can be super bad and intense, is emotion that has not finished the loop, that has not been processed until the very end. So normally the way things are going is to 1, first you experience something, and then 2, you feel feelings fully expressed to the end, without interruption, without any shock, or without repressions of the emotions. So that's really what's going on. Traumas are too overwhelmed for the body, so it doesn't process it like we normally do when smaller events happens. TRE is, by the way, known as a body-oriented therapy. The reason for this is that you work with your body, since the body is the place where the tension is stored in the muscle that I was telling about. When the tense muscles are relaxing, there will be a discharge of energy, and emotions will be felt, and the processing cycle will be complete. The body is, by the way, synonymous with the unconscious mind, meaning information gets stored in the body, and things that are outside of your awareness get stored in your body. So you see the similarity with the body storing information and the unconscious mind. Both has in common that there are information outside your normal awareness that are being perceived by you. TRE uses certain postures, body postures, that will put weight on the tense muscles. When you put weight on the tense muscles will start shaking and you will induce tremors. This is a mechanism the body has naturally. Shaking is a naturally releasing mechanism. Shaking and tremoring is a way for the body to quote-unquote shake off horrible things. Animals do it too. When they experience something horrible, they shake and then they move on with their life. Humans also have this mechanism, just like crying, for example. And it is a very natural mechanism. But because society has repeatedly told us that we can't show emotions, implicitly or explicitly, people don't always do this. The reason we don't all shake. Teachers and other people, like parents, have told children again and again to sit still, be quiet, be calm, etc. Therefore, because of this conditioning, shaking your body is something, especially in the West, that we have repressed. It is something that is taboo, something we want to avoid, right? So, TRE postures and movement activate this natural shaking. And it activates the automatic body releasing mechanism. After you shake, you will get material or emotions up to the surface, up to your conscious awareness. And this is emotion expressing itself, the loop that I was talking about earlier. It can be very intense, by the way, but when you experience this and these emotions, it will be the last time this very issue will process through your body before it's out of your system forever. Right? So it is worth it. I mean, it's better to process it properly and be done with it, right? Instead of being reactivated or re-triggered hundreds of times in the future by all kind of cues. If you think about the issue, you will release that particular issue. If you, for example, do the exercise and not think about something specifically, your body will just release something randomly. And in my guess, probably your most intense issue. Oh, and as a little side note, it is important to release emotions and fix things cognitively. And like many people that just think of the logical things to do in their life, and we all know that when we look at people and we tell them what to do and they don't do it, that's because we are emotional driven. And it is our emotions that stops us from achieving our goals. Look at resistance, for example, emotional resistance. You don't want to clean your room. You don't want to pay your bill. You don't want to do these things, right? And to compare what happened, it's like driving a car with your brakes on. Aka no or very slow movement. Your emotions are like driving a car with your brakes on. So just as the analogy, the example with the car, you need to release the brake and you will drive fast, right? The same inside your body. Your emotions need to be released. You need to let go of the emotions. And then you will think clearly, have abundant energy, and be motivated. I think it's a really good example. I was mentioning cognitive therapy. And cognitive therapy may work for people who have not been traumatized too heavily, but have maybe experienced little traumas. So, but the heavy tool, the hardcore stuff, is TRE, Trauma Release Exercise, to really get to the bottom of issues, to really release all the emotions and the tensions out of your physical body. Oh, and by the way, the US Army have been using TRE to help their soldiers and war veterans to release some of their traumas. So, with that said, I think this method could help all people, because they have done some session with TRE over time, and they have been healed and functional again. Hope this helped, and this was all for now, and I will talk to you next time. Bye bye.